This is a pork belly. We're gonna throw this in a pot of boiling water to remove all of its impurities. We're gonna boil this for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we're gonna take this out of the pot and rinse it under cold water to get rid of the scum. So guys, I've been researching a lot on Genshin dishes, and it seems that all the dishes in the game are based on real life dishes. So today, what we're really making are Chinese hamburgers, aka Ru Ma. I hope I didn't butcher that pronunciation. After cutting the pork belly, we're gonna season the meat generously. Next, in a hot pan, we're gonna sear our meat to give it that golden brown caramelization. During this step, it's very important that you have a very hot pan. If your pan's not hot enough, you're not gonna get the caramelization that you want, and you're gonna end up boiling the meat, which is a completely different flavor profile. Next, we're gonna quickly do our mise en place. We're gonna cut up the bottom of green onion, slice a ginger, get a couple cloves of garlic, and dice up this green pepper. In a pot with some canola oil, we're gonna throw in our 5 spice. Our Chinese 5 spice contains cinnamon, star anise, coriander seeds, cloves, and cardamom. We're also throwing in some dry red chilies to give this dish a little heat. After sauteing it for 2 minutes, we're gonna add in a cup of rock sugar. We're gonna saute this for another minute and then add in our green onions, ginger, and garlic. We're gonna saute this for another 2 minutes and then add in our liquids. First goes in a cup of chicken stock, then a cup of Shaoxing wine, then half a cup of dark soy sauce, and half a cup of hoisin sauce. Now we're gonna add in our meat and then pressure cook this for 30 minutes. If you don't have a pressure cooker, you can cook this on top of the stove on low heat for 2 hours. Next, we're gonna make our dough. In a cup of warm water, we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of dry instant yeast. We're gonna set this aside for 10 minutes. In a bowl of flour, we're gonna add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1.5 tablespoons of veg oil. We're gonna give this a quick mix and then add in our yeast. After 10 minutes, your yeast should look like this. We're gonna throw it into our dry ingredients and then give it a mix. We're gonna bring the dry and wet ingredients together and form a ball, and then we're gonna knead this by hand for about 10 to 12 minutes. Once our dough is made, we're gonna put a damp towel on top and let it proof for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes in the pressure cooker, this is what it looks like. We're now gonna extract the meat from the sauce. After extracting the meat, we're now going to strain the sauce. After the meat has cooled, we're going to cut it into 1-inch cubes. Make sure you don't cut it too small because when we throw it back into the sauce, it's going to shrink a little more. Next, we're going to throw in some cornstarch slurry into our sauce. This will thicken it. We're going to bring the mixture to a boil to activate the slurry. We're then going to throw in all our protein into our sauce and then set it aside. After 30 minutes, this is our dough. We're going to flour our surface to place our dough on. We're going to massage this dough a little bit and then roll it into a log, ensuring that there are no air pockets in the dough. Once rolled, we're going to cut it into 4 portions. Once cut, we're going to massage this dough a little bit and then flatten it. We're going to roll it long with a pin. Then we're going to fold this dough in half lengthwise and then roll it again from one end to another. After rolling it, we're going to take the end and then tuck it underneath. We're then going to press it down, forming a circle. You should be able to see that whirlpool shape right in the middle. We're going to roll this out until it's 5 inches in diameter and about half a centimeter thick. In a medium heated pan, we're going to throw in our flatbread. We're going to cook this for about 3 minutes on one side. After 3 minutes, we're going to flip it and then cook it for 1 minute and then throw it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. This will finish off the cooking and let the bread rise a little more. While the bread's in the oven, we're going to quickly saute these green peppers in a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we're going to plate. Alright, it's finally time to eat this. First, we're going to take it out of this parchment paper. And since this is pretty big and it's too hard to eat all at once, we're going to cut it in 4. Out of all the Genjin dishes, this is the best I've made so far. The bread is crispy on the outside and soft on the inside, and the meat is super juicy. Anyways, if you guys like what you see, hit the like button. And if you guys have any suggestions on what I should cook next, please post in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe.